Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome finally to the next episode of With Extra Happy. There had been some thing with the co-host. We sort of had a falling out, and she didn't want to do podcasts anymore, so I decided to take a little break, and then finally started searching for another co-host, and I finally found a wonderful co-host in Kat.
Hello.
Oh, so this week
I don't have an intro yet.
You'll make an intro, I guess. I just started saying hello on Jashikins. I can't remember when I started, but I guess that's sort of my catchphrase.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm new to this.
It's and a change with this podcast. Before it was bi-weekly, and now I'm changing it into putting little seasons. I'm having it air during the times when usually J&J Mondays would air, so I'm airing this podcast when J&J Mondays, the podcast I co-host, is on hiatus because I cannot take a break. I need to fill a free space with more work. So this week we're going to be sorting the Animorphs into different Hogwarts houses. This was actually originally going to be the next episode anyway, so Kat, are you a Harry Potter fan?
Oh, yep, I've been a Harry Potter fan for well over a decade.
Do you have a favorite character or favorite book?
I would have to say my favorite book would, just off the top of my head, be The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Good. I had that book given to me for, I think, my birthday one year. So I'm really biased towards that book.
I think what I got from that was the theme of just don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know what kind of soul's hiding inside.
That's, for those of you who are somehow not aware, that's the book where we learn about Sirius Black and that he was innocent of the crimes he was blamed. And that Peter Pettigrew was the guy who actually did everything and who had been hiding as a mouse, rat, Ron's rat for years.
Scabbers,
yeah. So I don't know if I really have a favorite Harry Potter book. I can't really judge. I like them all. I first read the second book first because Mom was like, hey, everyone's reading this. How about you check this out? Then I liked that one, so I read the first one. I kept up with the series.
I think I started with the first one, and I can't remember when, but I was about 7, I think, at the time, maybe, and I just kept with it. It was just, it just glued me in.
Yeah, it was. J.K. Rowling is excellent with world building, and that's a very good skill to have, especially when you have a fantasy or a sci-fi series. And, most people can do it generally well, but having the amount of detail she had.
Without overpowering the reader.
Yeah.
Or overloading, even.
Yeah, making it feel natural.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I mean, J.K. Rowling did a good job with that. Let's see, hang on. Hey. Don't fall. Ta-da!
Yay! Sorcerer's Stone, which is the American version of Philosopher's Stone, because American.
Yeah, this is the Sorcerer's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone was how it was originally published, and because as I am a dumb American, I wouldn't understand that. I don't know. Some changes between, British and American are just like, why are you, I can understand that. I can really understand that. But Animorphs, I just wanted to give everyone sort of an idea of how we stood on Harry Potter before we began. So the first man we will sort into a Hogwarts house is the leader of the Animorphs, Jake Berenson. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. I hope that the fictional character doesn't beat my butt for mispronouncing it. So, Kat, how about you go first? What house or houses do you think Jake would fit in?
I'm leaning more towards Gryffindor, given how that's the house that's most portrayed for like the brave, and given like what Jake has to do as a leader throughout the series, most of that does actually take a lot of courage to pull through. Well, either courage or complete heartlessness, but you know, we like to think more on the nice side of things and say it's courage.
Yeah, it's plus a bit of insanity.
That's it. I think everybody
like
can be
the
insane.
mosquito. Like, let's morph into mosquitoes to acquire this guy. That doesn't involve the sanest minds to go through.
Now I think about it, I think all the houses must have a bit of insanity in them.
Gryffindor definitely needs insanity for the bravery.
And pride. Actually, I think they all might have a bit of pride as well.
Yeah. Beating up on the poor Slytherins.
Yeah.
I'm a little sick today, guys, so that's why you might be hearing a difference in my voice. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Jake being in Gryffindor? Like any specific actions?
Nope.
No. Okay. But the house I chose for Jake, I admit I chose this one just to really go against the grain and to get over a stereotype. I like to put Jake in Slytherin. I mean, for one thing, Slytherin sort of have a bad rap as being the totally evil house. Like, if there was really one house in the Harry Potter world that had all these evil wizards, why do they still continue to let it run? And so there's good, Slytherin, so I had to have one of these Animorphs be in Slytherin purely to have, a good character there, or goodish. Of Jake's decisions that he makes over the course of the series gets darker and darker. And the final battle, he puts disabled children as cannon fodder. He betrays the Chi. I'm still going on with my Animorphs reread, but it's just it does get darker over the series because war changes him, and there comes a point near the end of the series that Jake decides to remove all doubt, and it becomes a little less Gryffindor, a little more Slytherin, and
and that's where the heartlessness comes into it.
Yeah. I would love to think of Jake as just a good character, but that's sort of a disservice to, the complexity that Applegate gave us. From some Harry Potter wiki, or perhaps in Slytherin you'll make your real friends. Those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends. So it's Jake definitely goes down that path, definitely near the end. So. Any disagreements you want to say on that, Kat?
No, you make really, really good points.
You make good points too.
Yeah, but I can't really disagree with anything, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just don't be afraid to disagree.
I know.
Yeah,
Trust me, I will.
Yeah, we were when we were planning this, I was trying my best not to influence her decisions. I didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to choose this character in this house." Just, you know. Okay, next up, Rachel. Rachel Berenson is Jake's cousin, and she's most known as the warrior of the group. Her nickname is Xena, Warrior Princess, and she has unfortunately gotten this stereotype of just liking the bloodbath, when really she questions that all the time. Now questions how far she's going. So we're going to sort her next. Kat, what house do you think she should be in, or houses?
I actually kind of want to put her in Slytherin, seeing as how she, like, can be, I mean, yeah, she can be ruthless to, like, satisfy her bloodlust, as you say people have labelled her. But also she can be cunning, because I'm just thinking of that one book where she was a starfish.
Oh,
and she just couldn't function being split up.
For those of you who haven't gotten to that book yet, you should read all the animals. What are you doing? It's okay. This is spoiler territory. But just sort of
okay.
Yeah, just sort of informing people in case they might have forgotten or they haven't gotten to it yet. Like if you haven't completed the Animorphs series, just don't watch any of this podcast.
Bit late.
Yeah, until you do. This was released in the 90s. You have had time.
Definitely.
I'm not good. This is an Animorphs podcast. Let's not do any spoilers. Okay, but anyways, it was called The Separation, and the book, Rachel, insane Rachel, morphs into a starfish, and she gets cut in half, and then when she demorphs, she's the nice Rachel and the mean Rachel. And it's really a good book to look at how Rachel views herself, of how both sides function together.
Yeah, and one was pretty much like just I kind of want to say like pure negative Slytherin, and one was more Ravenclaw, but they just couldn't function by themselves. They had to work together.
It's like the yin and the yang. There's both the light and the dark have some light and some darkness in them. You need both. And yeah, Rachel, is really bloodthirsty, but at the same time, she has another side, and you can't really be complete without both, even though, you sort of wish that you would have one side that you could just throw away.
Makes me kind of think Jekyll and Hyde, but we'll discuss that some other time.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe next season. We already have this season all planned out, so Jekyll and Hyde. Maybe look at the Animorphs if they were both split into halves.
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Let's do that.
That would be awesome. That'd be an interesting book, both halves of the Animorphs. Yeah. Okay, let me actually make a note on that, and then we'll continue and just okay. Let's see, Jekyll, Hyde. Okay, sorry. We're professionals here. I'm putting Rachel into Gryffindor. She's extremely brave and courageous, and you I think pointed out earlier that Gryffindors have this little bit of insanity, and Rachel is fucking insane. She's, let's do it. This seems like the craziest idea possible. Let's do it.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It's like, yeah. Yeah, that's Rachel. Let's do it. And she is courageous, and she's willing to put the bigger picture in front of her. She's willing to, fight off a alien invasion while just being a teenager. And I think that, damn it, correct me if I'm wrong, she's the only Animorph that didn't quit the group or think of quitting the group.
I haven't read the series in a while, but I want to say that's right, but I'm not 100%.
I'm not 100% sure. I know Cassie left in number 19. Jake, near the end of the series just became sort of comatose, saying, you do whatever, I'm not going to lead anymore. Marco was thinking of leaving until he found out that his mother was Visher 1. Tobias left for like 3 days after he made his first kill and attempted suicide. Axe tried to leave Earth and, rejoin his people. So Rachel, I think, might be the only one. Please, if someone knows differently, please comment below. These are sort of the things I think about late at night. Good. So yeah, so she's courageous. She possibly didn't think of ever leaving the group. So
it was just too much fun. Why would you want to leave?
Yeah. I did get to do insane shit. I get to go back to the time of the dinosaurs. God, and why didn't they keep their Dinomorphs? Why? Makes no sense. I'm sorry. My headcanon, all the Animorphs still keeping their Dinomorphs. It makes me happy. So do you have any disagreements about Rachel being in Gryffindor?
No, but I actually think that makes a lot more sense than trying to put her into Slytherin.
Well, she does have some Slytherin qualities to her. You're right in that regard. And with the Sorting Hat, you decide which house you're going to be in, so she could decide whether she feels more like a Gryffindor or more like a Slytherin. So, like Harry Potter.
Yep.
The dumbest character in the series.
I've never once heard anyone say that Harry is their favourite character, but moving back on to Animorphs.
I'm sorry, you're keeping me from doing an awesome tangent.
Okay.
Basically, I consider Jake the Harry Potter of the Animorphs series. But next up, Cassie. What house do you sort Cassie into?
I would put her in Hufflepuff. For the most part, at least.
Yeah, she's...
Given she's humble, and she does and she cares a lot about animals. She will help others when needed, and she knows how to comfort people.
Yeah, she's the peacekeeper of the group, able to say anything to calm people down and make them be friends at the end, which is a really good ability to have. I really don't have that ability. Basically, because my opinions stay in the back of my mouth and then they just come out. But yeah, I do agree with you with the Hufflepuff. She does do some bad things like everyone in the group. But at the end of the day, she's the pacifist. She's the one that wants, you know, all of them to stay basically the same by the end of the war and make sure that the others don't do any, tries to make sure that the others don't cross lines.
Just trying to keep everything as sane and safe and calm as possible.
Yeah. Keeping the moral good. Like what we Animorphs joke as the oatmeal book is that and number 19 are sort of good examples, with the oatmeal book number 17 being basically about biological warfare. Is a right to attack the Yeerks with a biological weapon if it will affect the hosts, the people they're trying to save. And in number 19, she is able to talk with the Yeerk, and they're able to, you know, discuss their own sides and realize, hey, this invasion thing isn't really good. There's another way.
I have no comments.
Yeah. How about discussing what she did with David? As that sort of another side. You know, she's a good character, but she's not, but she's tainted just like everyone else.
I think she hides it the best.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the one who's all nice and cute until you piss her off.
And then you better run.
Yeah, you better run. It's like, I'm sorry, you know, Rachel may appear outwardly more threatening, but Cassie has the hidden darkness to her that, you know, a little more
This is going to make the Jekyll and Hyde episode even more fun. It's always the quiet ones you got to watch out for.
Exactly. If you're walking by me, you know, if you just manage to walk by me in real life, I just seem to be this quiet girl that's, you know, sort of muted, you know, just not really, nothing really stands out.
And then you threaten one of our friends or family members and the lion comes out.
Yeah.
At least with me.
I don't know. I have sort of some anger issues, I think, so, yeah. I try to control that anger as best I can, but every now and again, some people have to reel me back in, and I swear that sometimes people are just wishing they had a stun gun for me. I wake up 2 hours later. Okay, that's Cassie. Now let's see who's next. Okay. Oh, I just figured out your R and J's in the notes are, I guess your name and J is me. I can't remember shit. Okay, next one to sort. Marco. What house do you think Marco should be in?
I actually haven't been able to figure out a specific house for him. I think I think he kind of like has qualities of like all of them.
How about you point out what qualities belong to which house?
Okay, off the top of my head, Gryffindor has bravery and pride, and I think loyalty. Slytherin's known for being cunning and mislabeled as evil. Ravenclaw's for the smart peeps, and Hufflepuff are the loyal, humble people, I think.
And kind.
And kind, yes.
Yeah, it's funny, I think it's in book number 4 where Marco is really kind and caring towards Cassie, and he's like, don't you dare tell anyone. It's like a little side he likes to keep hidden.
Yeah. I kind of think that he's kind of a compressed, I don't know whether that's even the right word, a compressed Hufflepuff and a compressed Slytherin, because he just tries to hide everything behind humour.
Yeah.
But he can get pretty dangerous if you tick him off.
Yeah, and his whole reason for, his first reason for fighting was because he's like, I don't like what you're doing, Jake, my best friend ever, but I am not going to let you do something stupid. I have to be here because I guess I'm the only sane one.
And he's pretty damn smart.
Yeah, he is. And that's what helps him keep the others from doing things too insane. Like going, wait.
Let's think about this.
Like in book number 3 when they're going to go up into the mountains, and he's like, wait, we shouldn't do that this day. And Rachel's like, oh, are you a pussy? And he's like, no, because that's a school day and people will notice.
Yeah, he's pretty good at picking out little details like that.
It's good. It took me, I think in my reread, like maybe up to book maybe 3 or 4 to actually start to like him, because he's like wine in that it's an acquired taste. You have to sort of drink a lot of him before you go, oh hey, this is actually a really interesting character. That was me. I sort Marco into Slytherin. I believe this is actually sort of a go-to house for Marco. He sees the clear lines from point A to point B. He knows what has to be done, and he is willing to do that. You know, that's ruthless once you start to think like that. And even though he's ruthless, Slytherins can still care and care deeply. They're still, people. They're still humans. Yeah. The same abilities that give Marco the ability to see the tiny little details of, hey, people will notice more if we're gone on a school day, can also, yeah. I know there's probably some good examples from, I think, number 30, the reunion, or the one where Marco's morphing a cockroach on the cover. But it's been so long since I've read that book. But it basically involves Marco deciding, whether or not to kill Vischer 1 and his mother. Or figuring out if his mother is free or not. So that's probably a good book to look at. So any agreements, disagreements, Kat?
Nope.
Yeah. You said he was a compressed, like Slytherin and Hufflepuff, so it's I don't know if anyone really fits completely into one house or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think is like why I kind of say that he's like a mix of all 4. Even if it's just sort of scattered.
Yeah, it's up to, if you were actually living in the Harry Potter universe, you would be choosing the house yourself. And you would decide sort of which qualities are better than the others, so. And next up is my favorite character of the entire Animorphs series. And the character with the nice feathery red butt, Tobias. So, Cad, what house do you think Tobias should be in?
I'm kind of thinking, kind of almost sort of leaning towards Hufflepuff. And I just got a new reason for that. But I will explain that when we get to the next character. I just need to note that down. But aside from that, oh god, there goes my hearing aid battery. It's starting to scream at me. So if I say hang on, that's because it's just screamed at me to change it.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. I've only just noticed that it's whining at me. It does this thing in the 15 minutes it's going to die. But I would say that he's in Hufflepuff because he's patient, obviously, because like he can't usually join everyone else on their mission, and and he's loyal, and he like does do his best where he can.
You can definitely count on Tobias.
Yeah.
There. Before he regains his ability to morph back, he is really guilty about not really being able to join in the missions, and I think sort of feeling guilty about, feeling glad that he's safe. And so he likes to take any opportunity to actually do something. And the end of number 3, where he blows up the transport ship, he gets into a dangerous position because he's like, I'm going to join in somehow. I need to do something.
I need to pull my weight. I'm not just a bird.
Yeah, birds are cute and awesome, but still, he can't.
I can do more than this.
I can do more than fly, shit, and squawk.
Pretty much, yeah.
I have 2 parakeets, and that's their thing.
I'm a bird with a human brain. I can do more than people think.
Yeah. Even though, members of the other Animorphs tried to reassure Tobias that he's still a valued member of the group. I think I really actually like the relationship between Marco and Tobias, even if you don't consider romantic. They're a really good friendship because Marco treats Tobias just like everyone else. Any, bad jokes he says about one person of the group, he'll sort of do the same thing with Tobias. It's like, you're a member of this insane group, you damn bird. But do you have any other houses you would sort Tobias in?
Not really, no.
I know.
I would say Ravenclaw, but I can't really think of a good reason.
Because their symbol is
hang on, there goes me. Sorry.
I didn't do it.
I know my hearing aid battery needs changing.
Good. Do I need to wait a moment or to continue?
Yes, please. I won't be able to hear you.
Okay. Just tell me when.
It's not much fun on a podcast if you can't hear each other. And I am back. Right, I'm sorry. What were we saying?
I was just sort of going over. You asked about words and things. I asked what other house or houses you think Tobias would be in. You mentioned Ravenclaw.
Yes, I did. I just can't think of a good reason.
And then I made the dumb joke of the symbol for Ravenclaw is a bird.
Yes. Aside from that.
Dumb joke, that's what I think of all day.
I was kind of thinking maybe because while he like takes the form of a bird, he does like sort of try to be lookout. So I guess in a way he can kind of put things together because he can be where the others can't.
Plus, he does scout for Yerk pool entrances and follows potential controllers even before he regains his ability to morph. So yeah, that does take a lot of putting A and B together. Plus, trying to figure out how things look from the ground and, going in thinking of how A connects to B when you can't go inside a building.
Yep.
Myself, I put Tobias into Hufflepuff just because, as we said before, he is very caring. His whole reason for deciding to fight at least the first time is the fact that, this alien died and he felt a big connection to him, and so he was just like, I have to fight. This strange alien died for us, so I'm going to fight. There's really no other option for me to do. And later he does, when he leaves the group for around 3 days or so, he decides to rejoin and he now fights to stay human. Because he connects being a controller, being trapped in your own body, to being a non-split, being trapped in Morph. So he cares about people, not wanting people to suffer through what he's suffering through. He's extremely loyal. Sorry. The afternoon showers are starting up.
It's okay.
Yeah, so do you have any agreements, disagreements about that?
Nope, I think I'm gonna keep him in Hufflepuff.
Yeah. You're in the Badger house, Tobias. No. God damn it! I just need a red-tailed hawk stuffed animal just for moments like these.
Tobias, you're in the Badger house. No!
Like I would set up a rig so that the plushy red-tailed hawk would sort of dive down in front of the camera and back.
No!
Maybe even have a voice box too. I'm sorry.
That'll be fun.
This is why it's good I don't have unlimited funds, because I would seriously do shit like that. Okay, let's see. We sorted Tobias. Okay, let's see. This says Tobias. Okay, let's see. And the next, I just opened the wrong window. Yeah. Okay, the final Animorph we're going to sort is the one that, like, wasn't considered to be, I guess, not in the book, back in the books, it's like the Animorphs and Axe, when it's like, no, he's a fucking Animorph. He's an Animorph. He's an Animorph. But I don't think technically he really considers himself part of the group until number 8. By which time he's like, hey, we should really be fighting on the same side. Plus, they have cinnamon buns. Humanity's greatest achievement.
Yeah, just food.
Food, like, what you've got to sort of understand is that morphing human is the first time he's able to experience taste. And so he's sort of like a dog. I need to put everything in my mouth. This has a strange scent. I better eat it. I remember my dog Sadie, we would sometimes take her walking along the beach, and she would like find these things with the most horrible smell. At least others told me that the smell was horrible. I can't smell myself, and she would just roll around in it.
Oh God. This is interesting. I'm going to roll in it.
That's sort of like X is so amusing. Hours of fun. Okay, but let's get to the point of this podcast, Kat. What house or houses would you sort Axe in?
I've been tempted to put Human Axe into Hufflepuff just because it's right next to the kitchen and he'd never leave.
Where's Axe? He's missed all his classes. Where the heck?
Let's try the kitchen.
The kitchen. The kitchen. He's always the kitchen. Why are we having this discussion, Jake? Jeez, you're about as dumb as Harry Potter, man.
Which is also which is the other reason that I thought of that I was going to bring up for Tobias. Tobias, given that he's Axe's Sean, will probably be trying to convince him to come out and just kind of keep an eye on him.
So Tobias would be keeping an eye on Axe so he doesn't stay or eat too much.
Yeah.
This is my family. I got my father eaten alive in front of me before I knew he was my dad. My mother has amnesia. My uncle and aunts are abusive. And now this. God damn it.
I'm an alien who is addicted to human food.
Can I have one normal family member? Please, dear God.
And then for the Andalite version, I figured Ravenclaw, given that he's got a different intelligence and way of thinking to the rest of us.
Yeah, and he's actually really smart when he isn't stuffing his face in oil. Sorry, X. We love you. Continue.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I actually put Axe as a complete, character, not, dividing him up between human and Andalite, because he's still the same person. It's just that the instincts of a morph.
Oh, I'll just stick with Ravenclaw then.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should change your point of view. I'm just.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's just my thing. It's
okay.
That's the thing with this podcast. I wanted, some differing opinions, and not one of us feeling forced to change. But if there was one opinion that would be followed, it should be mine. I have a big ego. Sorry. But I do look at Axe as a complete character. And so while he's sort of more than insane in human morph, cigarette butts, oil, cinnamon buns, if it can fit into his mouth, he will put it there. He is highly intelligent. He's able to give info to the Animorphs that they wouldn't get really any other way, or at least not as easily. He's able to say, hey, here's the rankings of the Yerks, Visher 3, Visher 2, Visher 1. Here's all this other information. Though he's not the smartest Andalite out there, there are a couple, I think more than a couple times where he's like, well, we were taught that one day in class, but I was looking at this pretty girl instead. But sort of makes him a little more relatable to, I think, the majority.
He's basically just a bit of a dorky teen, really.
What? What do you say?
He's basically just the dorky teen.
Yeah, I think it does help us relate to an alien creature, because I think the majority of us, even if we weren't, starstruck with hormones, we're just, for one reason or another, we don't pay attention in class all the time. Or like, hey, I'm thinking about the latest Star Wars movie is coming out in a few weeks. I'm gonna spend math class thinking about that and just nodding at the teacher. Like Tobias even was like doodled in his notebook. So, yeah, but X is highly smart and intelligent. Number 5, when he tries to make it a little beacon and that goes wrong. That's he was homesick, so of course he's going to make a mistake. I mean, he's just this little teen on an alien planet where nothing is the same, where there's no others of his kind. So of course he's going to panic and try to escape and not really think things through.
He's just trying his best.
Yeah, just like anyone would. I haven't gotten stuck on an alien planet yet, so I don't know how I'd react. So any agreements, disagreements, Kat?
Nope, I got no more comments.
Okay, this is going to be the, hang on. This will be the end of this podcast of With Extra Happy. If any of you watching, since there were no live viewers, if any one of you watching the recorded podcast want to, talk about what houses you would sort which Animorphs in, please do. I would love to start a nice conversation with you. And next time we do an episode, it will be on Cassie, because Cassie is like a great character, but just people seem to rain undue hate upon her. So, Kat, do you have any final words? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to announce?
Got nothing to announce, but I've had fun, and I look forward to the next episode.
I had fun with you today too. I can't wait till the next episode either. I'm glad to, both have a good co-host and get this series started again. So until next video, goodbye.